How are you feeling? You got John Riggs here, and it's high time we give LJN a break. Well, because people keep saying that LJN makes terrible games. The thing is, they just publish the games. Someone else develops the games, LJN puts their logo on it, puts it out in the public, and they say, it's an LJN game, terrible. It's like, no. LJN was just the person who released it in the public. Don't worry about them. You should blame the developer here. You see, the thing with Ocean is most of their games were published and developed by Ocean, so they have no one to blame but themselves. Fortunately for us, we only had 8 games from Ocean. You probably played a couple of them. And they did also publish a few games that were made by someone else, including one from Probe Software, which is actually a really decent company. So in this video, checking out all the games from Ocean for the Nintendo Entertainment System, and I love doing these videos. Make sure you're subscribed. I do at least 2 videos a week on usually something retro related, or I look at new technology, or I check out some new game or something like that. But make sure you're subscribed. I do at least 2 videos a week. Always something new coming up. Well, the first on the list is The Addams Family, which is based on that awesome movie. It's one of my favorite movies. Love it still today. Still holds up today. And this game, not that it's a great game, it's a guilty pleasure of mine. I still actually come back to this game every once in a while. And only the NES version, not the Genesis version, not the Super Nintendo version. This NES version of Addams Family. I still come back to it just to play it, you know. I mean, it's not great, but I mean, it's decent-ish. I'm putting it as a C. And then Pugsley gets a shout out in The Addams Family, Pugsley's Scavenger Hunt. This one's based more on the cartoon that came out around this time too, and the cartoon is excellent. The game is not, and it doesn't play as well as the other game, even though they're both made by the same company. So with that in mind, I'm putting this game as a D. Cool World, decent movie. I thought the movie was kind of fun. I like the Ralph Bakshi style of things, but the game was terrible, and I literally don't know what I'm doing in this game. They made a Cool World game for the Super Nintendo. I played that one a little bit better. Like, that one was a little bit easier to control. This one you kind of play as, like, not the good guy. He's not really the bad guy either, but he's just, well, maybe, I don't know. It's been a long time since I've seen Cool World as well. No, this game is an F. Darkman, I was curious about that movie. It's a movie I still haven't seen today, and I have played this game, and I can't get anywhere on this game. You move too fast, you move too weird, you can climb up the walls, that's bonus points in my book. And there's little balancing things, like when you're crossing the rope. That's something different for a Nintendo game, at least, so that's okay. But looking at the magazine, I mean, like, it was in Nintendo Power and other magazines, and just looking at the stages, I thought it looked really fun. And the fact that you could, like, you know, change into look like someone else, but I never got that far. I always died because I kept on falling off, or, you know, someone would kill me or something like that. So this game, for everything it is, I'm putting this game as an this is also an F. It's an F. The NES kind of got the shaft for Jurassic Park, unfortunately. The Super Nintendo game I thought was kind of cool. You know, the overworld map and everything, and then you go inside the buildings and it turns into like that Doom perspective, that first-person shooter. I thought that was pretty cool for the Super Nintendo version. The Genesis version is, of course, the optimal version. I mean, that's the best one, of course. Love the Genesis version of Jurassic Park. But the NES version isn't terrible. It's not a terrible game, because it does that the overhead view like the Super Nintendo version does. Only, it's very limited. I'll give it this, though. It has one of the most underrated NES soundtracks out there. So if you've never even played the game, never even knew that there was a Jurassic Park game for the NES, at least look up the soundtrack. It's good. The game itself is not great, though. I'm putting the game itself as a C. Lethal Weapon for the NES. Play as Riggs. Gotta love that. I mean, looking at the box art, this game looks like it would be based on Lethal Weapon 3. However, it's just called Lethal Weapon. It is terrible. This game, I mean, you can play as either character in this game, but how you swap your characters is you move all the way off the screen going backward, and then the other person will just kind of show up and just walk into frame. That's how you swap characters. That's not optimal. I mean, if you've ever played this game, first of all, this is how you throw a knife. It's kind of like drop it like you don't know how to... You just kind of like toss it like a lawn dart or something. You just kind of like toss it like you don't know how to fold a paper airplane or something. But this game is, oh man, good lord. This game is also an F. Well, we have Robocop 3. This is the one from Probe. And it plays very well, actually. I shouldn't say very well. That's super generous. It plays decent. I prefer the other Robocop games. Honestly, the other two Robocop games were from Data East, so that'll be on the Data East video. But this one here, it could be one of the better games from Ocean as far as the NES version goes. You can't shoot straight up, which is odd. You can only shoot up at an angle. And the enemies just keep coming out. But, I mean, the game itself, I mean, it could have been a lot better. It should have been a lot better. But, you know, for Ocean, I'll take it. It's also a C. They came out with an Untouchables game, and there's an Untouchables game for the Super Nintendo as well. But the NES version, oh, it's not great. It's a cover shooter, and I bet you didn't think that there's gonna be you probably didn't think there was gonna be a cover shooter on the NES back in the day, but there was, at least in this. You'd hide behind the building, then you come out and shoot the guys and come back. The problem is, the people only come out of the window for like a second and then go back in. So you have to predict where they're gonna be and hopefully not get shot up in the meantime, waiting for them to come out, and then you have to aim your gun, you know, because it's not you have to aim the cursor to where the guy should be, shoot the gun. If the controls were better, if it was a little bit more optimal, I'd like it a lot more, like a lot more. But in the meantime, I still come back to it sometimes because I'm hoping for better. And with that in mind, I'm putting it as a, it's not an F, I'll put it as a D. Untouchables is a D for me. Well, I mean, it could have been a lot better, but it definitely could have been a lot worse when it comes to games from Ocean for the NES. But never mind Ocean, I've ranked and looked at so many other publishers for the NES from all these other great companies like Tecmo, like Tradewest, like Konami and Capcom and all the black box NES games and so much more. So check out the entire playlist. I got a few links here that you have videos you can check out immediately. And like I said, I do about 2 videos a week, so make sure you're subscribed, and I'll see you again real soon. Thank you.